This isn't a laptop. This... Oh, this is a laptop. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have in front of you right now is the cream of the crop, the best of the best, the champion of vintage laptops. This right here is an Alienware Area 51 D9T. This thing is a beast. It's got a built-in subwoofer, 2 optical drive expansion slots, 4 USB ports, 2 FireWire ports, and a straight-up desktop class Intel Pentium 4 processor. This thing is a beast of a laptop. And honestly, calling it a laptop is kind of stretching it a little bit because, my God, this thing is huge. And if that wasn't enough, the power supply for this damn thing is just as big. Like, holy crap. This is like the size of my freaking hand. These computers are not common, to say the least. The only reason why I was able to find this one is due to its physical condition. It was listed as very poor condition, which, yeah, you can probably tell. I have no idea if this thing works. At least there's one page that I found on eBay that has almost every single replacement part for this laptop. They are a little spendy though, which is kind of the downside, but this will probably be one of my biggest computer restoration projects ever, because, you know, honestly, judging from the outside, I wouldn't be surprised that we'd have to probably replace almost everything on this laptop. From what little information I can find online about this laptop, it's also sometimes called the Sager 9000, I want to say, but the Alienware Area 51 that you see in front of you is the more common one, but not more common by very much. It looks like it's from around 2006 and had a retail price between $2,000 and $5,000. That is just insane. Now, do keep in mind, back in 2006, gaming laptops weren't nearly as popular as they are nowadays. And honestly, calling this thing a gaming laptop is kind of pushing it a little bit. It was more marketed as a desktop replacement because of its size. Look at that. Look how freaking thick that thing is. That is just crazy. That is insane. I'm still just blown away at this thing. Like, if I were to guess, I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of Alienware's very first gaming laptops. Like, no joke. Let's take a closer look at this thing. So it looks like we've got 2 front firing speakers on the front. We've got a power button. I'm guessing that's either to turn on the laptop itself, or maybe this little like display thing has its own like dedicated functionality. I'm not entirely sure. We've got media controls here, some more media controls. On the top we have our Alienware logo, of course, along with the alien face, which it looks like it's actually missing the emblem here. I'll have to find a replacement for that. And by far the coolest thing has to be these grill looking things on the sides of the front of the laptop. Like, damn, that it puts off a good look. Looks like we've got a Kensington lock port, and not just one, but 2 optical drive bays. How? I have honestly never ever seen that on a laptop. The fact that this thing can have 2 optical drives is just freaking awesome. On this side, it looks like we've got S-Video out, 4 USB ports, 2 FireWire ports, which is pretty cool. Looks like we've got I think that's actually like line in and line out, I want to say. And then a microphone port and a headphone jack. And looks like we've got a CF/ micro drive card reader, as well as an SD card reader. It can also read smart media, and I'm sure it probably can also read memory stick as well. All right, now here's where it gets even more crazy. I didn't realize when I bought this thing, but this thing can also have not just 2 optical drives, but 2 freaking hard drives. Look at that. This thing just keeps getting more insane, I swear. I saw a heatsink over here by this broken plastic, so I'm guessing that might be the dedicated graphics card. I have no idea what kind of graphics card this thing has, but we'll have to find that out. It looks like this is where the battery goes, which, judging by the size and the amount of like sheer horsepower that this thing had back in the day, I wouldn't be surprised if the battery life was god awful. Looks like we've got not just 1, not just 2, but 3 cooling fans in this thing. That is insane. Plus, not to mention 4 DIMM slots. Holy crap. When do you ever see 4 RAM slots on a freaking laptop? Like, seriously, that is so cool. Then it looks like this is where we have our CPU. No idea what processor this thing has, although from the information that I found online, it uses a socket 478. So it's got to be either a later generation Pentium 4 or like an early generation Pentium D at the latest. But there's no way in heck that this thing is running a Core 2 Duo, because the socket 478 never actually had Core 2 Duos. Looks like we've got a huge fan ventilation vent right here. Looks like that is the power connector, which, that's a 4-pin. I don't think I've ever seen that on a laptop before. That's interesting. Looks like we've got serial, parallel, DVI, which is pretty nice. Mouse and keyboard. Looks like we've got modem, Ethernet, and then what's behind here? Let's see here. Oh, cool! Another video out. Cool. Along with composite. Damn, this thing is decked out. There's some more information about this laptop in case you were wondering. Looks like the model is D9T, uses 20 volts and 11 amps. Jesus Christ. That is crazy. From what I found online, this laptop goes by different names depending on the manufacturer. So this laptop was marketed under Alienware, and for the most part it sounds like it was marketed under Area 51, either M7700 or D900T or something like that. And then there was another company called Sager, which I've never heard of that before, but they also sold this laptop under, I think it was like a Sager 9870 or something like that. I don't know. But like I said, there's not much information online about this thing at all, which I'm really, really hoping that I can at least find the drivers for this thing, because yeah, I really want to get this thing going. Like, this is probably the coolest laptop I have ever seen. So let's put some RAM in this thing, which I have no idea what type of RAM this uses. Since it's from 2006, I would think it'd be DDR2, but I'll have to double check. But I should have some RAM for this thing, so I'll find some RAM here quick, put it in, and see if this thing powers up. Now, I honestly have no idea which DIMM slots are the first set and which one's the second set. So this might take some trial and error. So we'll just put the RAM in this one for now. Okay, that's 1 GB. And then we have another one here. Put it in the other slot, which will bring the system up to 2 GB. Which Should be plenty for a system like this. Oh, I didn't realize the clip on this one was bent. Oh well. As long as it works. All right. Let's plug it in. Hope to God nothing explodes and see if she works. Okay. No sparks yet. Hey! Get a power light. That's a good sign. Now, let's see if it does anything. Okay, that's actually really, really cool. Nice. We're still not getting anything to come up on screen. Good news is it is powered up, so it is at least doing something. Let me plug a VGA cable into it and see if we get any picture. Because it could be the case that we just have a bad LCD panel. Let's see. Oh crap, that's right. I need DVI instead of VGA. Whoa! Huh. That was weird. I was trying to look for that adapter and all of a sudden the fans kicked on the laptop. That's actually kind of noisy. Oh, it's getting louder. I almost wonder if maybe it might be struggling to keep itself cool. Which, no surprise, I'm sure that thermal paste on there has got to be over 20 years old. Or at least close to 20 years old. Where did all my adapters go? I am losing my mind here. Haha! Found it! Alright, before this thing explodes or turns off or does something, let's plug in our adapter. I did end up finding it, finally. And we'll see if we get a picture out of it. Okay, switch to VGA. Okay. Nothing on screen. Let's try powering it down and then turning it back on again. Okay, I'm holding down the power button. Nothing's happening. Oh, wait a second. That's why I didn't realize that. So that second power button here, apparently this thing has a dedicated CD player. Huh. That's actually kind of cool. Okay, let's try this again. So power up. See if we get a picture out of it. Well, it's doing something. I see a blinking light on the front. I almost wonder if maybe we need to switch our memory modules. Okay, so I switched the memory modules to the other DIMM slots. So let's see if that'll make a difference at all. Okay. Nothing yet. Let's see over here. Maybe. Okay, still no video. And the strange thing is, even though there's no picture, The DVD drive just keeps seeking for no apparent reason. So, what do you do when all else fails and no matter what you try, you can't get the system to boot? You buy another one. That is right. I bought a second one. Only because, honestly, like, this one was completely untested. And when I plugged it into power, like, nothing happened. But it does have some good spare parts that I can use on this one. Hence why I bought it. Because it was honestly cheaper to buy a broken system and just use it for parts than to buy all the individual pieces that I needed for this thing. And also the casing on the old one is in pretty rough shape. And unfortunately, I couldn't find a replacement for this, so we are just going to swap the board from the broken one. And then once we have everything transferred over to the new case, yeah, we'll just reassemble it and fingers crossed that it works. Oh my god, why am I doing this? Have I literally gone insane? I bought a freaking another rare Alienware laptop. I have officially lost it. I need help. Okay, so I finally got this thing mostly put back together. Just enough to basically test to see if it works. I'm really hoping it does, because I spent the last 3 freaking hours putting this thing together. So let's see. Okay. Got a light. That's a good sign. Oh wait, that's right. We gotta hold it down. I hear the hard drive. Okay, that was weird. Oh, come on. Please. Oh, yeah! It works! Damn, I'm good. Wow. Nice. We got this freaking thing working. Hell yeah. Nice. All right, let's go into the BIOS and see what we're working with. So we've got 2 optical drives installed in a freaking laptop. Never would have imagined I would own a laptop with 2 freaking optical drives. That's just insane. Looks like we've got 2 gigabytes of RAM. Looks like we have a NVIDIA 6800 Ultra. Cool. Looks like the video card BIOS date is 3/17 of 2005. We've got a Pentium 4. May or may not have hyperthreading. It doesn't really say. But it's clocked at 3.6 gigahertz, which actually is pretty good. Okay, let's see. So we want the first DVD drive as the primary boot. So that way we can install Windows on this thing. I should actually make sure that the hard drive is actually being detected. Well, let's just boot it and see if it detects the hard drive at least. First I need to find my Windows XP installation disk. Alright, let's see if she boots. Oh, it's doing something. Yeah, cool. So the first optical drive works perfectly fine. That's a good sign. Man, I'm hungry. Okay, let's see here. The following list shows the existing partitions and unpartitioned spaces on this computer. I have no idea what any of that is, so we're just going to delete it. Well, I was not expecting that to happen. Oh my goodness. I don't think I have ever had a blue screen right in the middle of Windows setup. All right, let's try that again. So instead of deleting the partitions, let's see what happens if we just press enter. Same thing. I almost wonder if maybe there's an issue with either the mini IDE cable on the laptop itself, or it might be a formatting issue with the hard drive. I did buy it used off of eBay, so it could be the case that Windows XP setup is just not liking the partitions that are already on that little hard drive. So I'm going to plug it into my main PC and see if I can format it that way and see if we might get a different result. Alright, so I formatted the drive on my laptop. So let's see if it lets me install Windows now. Still nothing. Okay. I almost wonder if maybe this hard drive might be bad, or this laptop just does not like it, maybe? I might have to do some more investigating on this. Right, so, a lot has happened between the last clip and now, so I'm going to try my best to fill you in as much as possible. So, it's been about 2 or 3 weeks since the last clip that you just saw. I've been working tirelessly to get Windows installed and up and running on this thing. Mainly because the IDE controller for the hard drive in this thing is proprietary. It uses, I can't remember what brand it is. I think the company is called Promise. But basically, if you recall, that IDE ribbon cable where the hard drive goes, there's technically 2 connections in there because, well, you can have 2 hard drives in this thing. The way that it works with that is it uses a built-in RAID controller, and Windows XP does not have drivers built in for that RAID controller because of how uncommon / proprietary it is. Legit, every single time I would either format the drive or go into actually like booting Windows for the first time, the system would just blue screen, and for no apparent reason. I tried basically everything that I could think of. I tried different hard drives. I tried different versions of Windows XP. I tried installing Windows XP on the hard drive from a different computer and tried to boot it on this one. I even tried one of these optical bay hard drive adapters, and that didn't work either. But one day, after God knows how many hours I spent searching, I actually stumbled across the original recovery CDs for this laptop, and even all the drivers, including that RAID controller. So I was at least able to install Windows at that point, but we were still having issues getting it actually like booted up because of that RAID controller for some reason. I don't know if it was the fact that the version of Windows that I was installing didn't like the RAID controller, but I tried Windows XP Service Pack 3 Professional. I even tried the original Service Pack 1 Windows XP that originally shipped with this laptop when it was brand new. But what ended up working, oddly enough, is a unofficial Service Pack 5 modified version of Windows XP, which is obviously what you see in front of you right now. And guess what? Lo and behold, it works. It frickin' works. Oh my god, I am so happy. The main difference between the last updated version of Windows XP, which was Service Pack 3, and this unofficial Service Pack 5, is this unofficial modified version basically includes a slew of pre-installed features and drivers. So basically, this Windows XP version comes with end-of-life 2019 updates, which I believe, I can't quite remember. I don't know if those were unofficial or if those were like only eligible to Windows XP Enterprise versions. It also comes pre-installed with the most up-to-date versions of Windows apps like Windows Media Player and a bunch of miscellaneous features and updates that I can't really think of on the top of my head. So all we really have left to do is to install some drivers as well as some Alienware applications that originally came pre-installed on this thing, and we should have this thing up and running. So I will be back in a matter of moments. Sweet, we got all the drivers installed. I installed some gaming benchmarks, and I'm currently running this thing through its paces, and it surprisingly does really, really good. Of course, the graphics card fan roars like a jet engine the whole time, but yeah, this thing works perfectly fine. Damn, that thing's getting hot. Like, I don't want to put my hand there, kind of hot. Jeez. And I replaced the thermal paste on it too. And look at that. It even runs Crysis. Granted, it's the demo version, but it runs it not particularly well. I'm playing at 1024 by 768 on the lowest settings, and even my Windows XP gaming PC runs the demo much better than this, but hey, it can play Crysis. Just barely. Jeez, listen to this thing. I kid you not, fixing and restoring this thing has been the hardest and most frustrating computer experience I have ever had to this day. But damn, was it worth it. Because this thing is just so freaking cool. Yes, it's janky, it's impractical, it's noisy, it gets really, really hot, but damn is it cool. Look at it. It's a vintage gaming laptop from the 2000s. What's not to love? I am very, very happy I finally got this thing working. And this thing is definitely here to stay in my collection. Like, I'm never going to get rid of this thing. It is just so freaking cool. So, I hope everybody enjoyed the ride along, and I'll see you all next time.